Okay, so I went somewhere recently, a little event, and there was a talk programmed for addiction and recovery, and it's one of the things I was looking at. Like, there was a grief circle which was run really well, and basically it got cancelled, and it was interesting because I think from what I heard, and I don't really get involved in like internal politics and comments and stuff, but I just heard that there was a few people that were disappointed it didn't happen. And so obviously, as with the shadow work that we do individually, and if we look at the gene keys as a source of information and have done our own profile, and we can look at our shadows and what we need to be mindful of. Not that I consider myself an addict, but yes, I do know how strong my shadow side is, so I do need to be mindful of everything. And I think we're allowed to be a little bit naughty, just as long as we don't do things all day every day, because that's not balanced, that's not real. And I think the point that I would share from lived experiences with addiction is that, because I was saying, like, you know, this place that I'd been at, like, the energy seemed really clean, and someone was like, what, clean? But like, they were saying that someone was like an addict, and that's not for me to comment on. I just follow and listen and observe energy. That's why I kind of sort of keep to myself in these spaces and just watch things. I don't want to get involved in anyone's opinions on anybody else or anything. And what I realise is that comment, when someone say addict, immediately there's this negative connotation, when addiction doesn't mean you're impure, that your soul is impure, that you're not a pure whole heart. Like, addiction is that your demons are just too comfortable. 212 on the clock. Your demons are just having a field day in the vessel, and that's what we need to bring balance to. Like, it doesn't mean that we don't have light and that people cannot see the light in us. It doesn't mean that we are impure. It means that the pain or the grief that we have moved through the whole myriad of wonderful issues that we get thrown at, the whole myriad of issues that we get thrown as humans on the realm, can lead people to a funny few 5 minutes, you know, when things are imbalanced and chaotic, and you, especially now, in heightened states of awareness and the awakening and telepathy and voices, and where are the voices coming from? Team Godhead or, you know, the Dark Squad. Some people will resonate with this and others won't, but I think the main point I was saying is that just because somebody has an addiction doesn't mean that they are impure. Their physical vessel might have toxins in it because of what you're doing to your body, but there are very, very deep ancient souls around, and they have the capacity to bear an incredible amount of pain and also experience an incredible amount of beauty and love. And there are those that do not feel as deeply as we do, and so they won't really or they won't understand my observation or perspective on this, because addiction, I believe, can be temporary. I think if we you know, people say, oh, you can never change, and always a smoker, once a smoker, always a smoker, or this, that, and the other. And I don't believe in any of that. I think that we always can change our brain and the programming, and that no one knows the individual circumstances that have led up to why someone chooses to partake in a particular substance, or even sugar, cake, white sugar. People don't realise they blame and judge other people. Oh, they're addicted to alcohol. They're da-da-da-da. When you're eating cakes and white sugar every day, which is more addictive than crack. So, and also they did a study, I think it was sometimes when I was looking back at some research in psilocybin, sort of getting into that ceremonial space, over time they looked at alcohol versus heroin, and when monitored or used over a specific amount of time, and I don't know the exact details, so please don't quote me on that, 5:05 on the clock, is that the body that consumed heroin on the long term, and this is not me endorsing heroin, I'm just saying we need to look at substances very individually, sources. There's people being put through clinical trials with MDMA that's helping PTSD. And so addiction is part of the human shadow aspect, the collective shadow. And so going round thinking that I am the better person because somebody else has got an addiction and you don't have an addiction to, everybody's got some form of compulsion, addiction, obsession. Could be love, it could be thinking about someone or spying or stalking, it could be eating too much sugar, too much processed food. I'd say probably 99% of us have got some form of control, needing to go to the gym 7 times a week, like all of that is addictive behaviour. And so there's, I think, elements, traces in pretty much everybody. It's just how we maintain the balance around that. And obviously company and energy influences it. And if we know, like me, if I'm hanging around with a big group of people and like I just got to pull back, or, you know, I go into my own energy, and music usually helps, and I'm just in my zone. But, you know, some people are addicted to trainers and music, so buying things, fake this, fake nails, fake hair, you know, people are addicted to spending money. So I think the judgments are quite interesting at the minute, and we need to look more at ourselves and our shadow if we're going around looking down on other people for the choices they make. It's different if we come at things from a perspective of love and we are also working to overcome anything that we are overindulging in. That's just how I see it. Doing anything all day, every day, that's, I don't know, as I said before on some of these videos, if you've watched them, is that I like delayed gratification. I like I was going to say winning, a form of winning. My name is victorious. It's more about, I think, is that fasting element. You know, you feel really good, not denying yourself of something, just starving your body, mind and soul, and feeling in a natural state, natural living, and then having a few naughties. And then someone asked me, what do I consider naughty? Because I say that a lot. And for me, naughty is too much white sugar. Like, I'm not saying I never eat it. I really don't use it in the household. And if I'm out and someone's made a cake, I might have a bit. That's a very rare occasion. I might have a chewing gum occasionally. In the UK, you've got alternative brands, plastic-free, that don't have chewing gum. But if I'm out, I might have one. They're naughty for me. I mean, everyone's idea of naughty is going to be different. Too much oily food. I don't use a lot of it at home, but if I'm out and someone's cooking bhajia here or whatever, I'm going to have it. So I think as if the answers are coming out now, then yeah, like someone, you know, can have an addiction. Now I know there's something going on at the minute. Something shifting this weekend. Because if the Irish out and I got potatoes bubbling, for those that, you know, say, oh no, you can't eat potatoes, it's acidic, you've got to go to the pure alkaline diet. I like a potato. So I don't have them every day. I'm not addicted. But balance, people, balance. Yeah, anything that tips the edge one way or the other, then you're going to know what's going to come. You're going to start to feel shit. You're going to, especially if you're smoking skunk over natural herb and all that, overdo anything, the demons, you're welcoming the demons. I'm friends with mine now, and I tell them when to fuck off. And if I'm around other energies that I see are in their shadow side, then yeah, I've got to be mindful. But that's how we grow. That's how we gain power, gain inner strength. This is all a little game. It's practice. And going back to the point of, I like delayed gratification. For me, I can't have everything I want all the time, every day. That is a Western skewed, non-real, non-realistic interpretation of life. If we live on an abundance mentality, it's pretty much there every time because we've got sunshine, we breathe, we're alive, we can share a smile, there's goodness all around. But having all that we want all times. That's not real life. That is a programmed view of reality. So them's my thoughts, really.